I've got the spores, the sickness. There's the twins in my brain.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Domestique Cycling Podcast, where today it's my pleasure to be joined by British rider Tom Portsmouth. How are you, mate?
Yeah, good, thanks. Yourself?
I'm good, thank you. It's been a busy weekend for you, hasn't it, really, as well, I think?
Well, yeah, it's been one of a lot of highs, and then like when you get racing like that over 5 hours, a lot can happen. So yeah, finished the racing, but with some cuts and bruises as is normal on such a weekend.
Yeah, the parkour of those courses, particularly, I was watching with interest. Obviously, it looked quite brutal, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, I think you could describe it as a pure climbers course, especially the first 2 days. The last day was more of like climbers sort of dabbling in the first half of a classics race, and then the latter half was very much in their favor. But yeah, 3 big days on the bike for especially us bigger riders. I know a couple of guys were ticking over 5,000 kilojoules most days, so it was a big day out on the pedals.
Yeah, a big day. Yes. And for you on the team Wagner Bazin, how has that been for you this season?
Yeah, it was good. Well, it was especially the weekend gone. It was our home racing. It was only about an hour from where the factory is, from the main sponsor, Philip Wagner. So it was pretty cool to do some very aggressive racing with all the boys there, and get some good results with those sort of climbers. You know, you had 6 guys on the front row who had all won a Grand Tour stage or something similar on a super high level. So and to get the jersey on the TV on 2 of the 3 days and get on the podium for us was super cool. So it's going in a really good direction with the whole team atmosphere, and Pierre getting a really good result at Limburg is building all the momentum. So we look forward to sort of the next period of racing. It's going to be busy all the way through May until about mid-June. So yeah, we're looking forward to get ahead now.
Yeah, for the viewers who don't know as well, your next race is going to be Tour de Bretagne, I think you mentioned before to me. What's that going to be like for you?
Well, it's going to be interesting because obviously sometimes you get the pro teams in these 2.2 races. I know Solution Tech's done that over in Central Europe. They've also done that on the other side of the globe in Asia. So it's going to be quite an interesting affair, especially given a lot of the Devo teams now are also riding their riders up in pro. So it's not like a pure Devo race because, you know, Jakob Soderquist is there and he's done a number of pro races this year. And
he's ridiculous, isn't he, really?
No, exactly. Well, so I think he's lining up number 1, actually. So it's going to be a very interesting race, pure classics racing all the time. And I just hope the weather sort of plays ball to make it as, safe and possible for good racing as possible, really.
It suits you as a rider, I think, as well, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It's a classics course. Britannia is just super grippy. We never really go. There's some steep bosses there, but nothing as hard as Jura and Do. But it's the riders that make the racing, and you know how all these Devo guys are coming up now. They're super strong, and it's going to be a super interesting weekend with the guys.
Yeah, if I recall as well, I think part of the tour is around that area in this year, or is it?
Well, I have no idea, mate. I've not looked in detail.
I think the tour is around this. So yeah, if you can pass on that information for many of the viewers, I think that could be quite interesting because I think there's a lot of kickers around there, isn't there? Especially like Van der Poel type kickers. So
well, you recall back to I think 2021 when it was around there last was up the. I think it's the Mur de Bretagne. So it's
Mur de Bretagne,
it's it can be very aggressive and steep racing, but you know that's where the good stuff is, just pure racing for 200k. So
yeah, but for you as a British rider, how is it for you, like competing overseas compared to, let's say, back home here in the UK? Because the UK racing scene at the minute it's not in a good place, would you say? In my opinion, I don't think it is, because obviously we've seen so many teams being lost.
Yeah, in the team aspect, in that strength and depth, I'd say it's kind of stepped down a level. However, like there's a lot of the riders that are still there, just not on those kind of bigger teams, let's say, that go abroad more often. But like I just said, it's the riders that make the race, and most of these races, if you look on pure figures, are up there with what we did last week. A little bit shorter, not the 200k types, but let's say still 140, 150k with 2,400 plus meters. I know Ed Morgan won that P&E race last week, and that was a super strong ride from him to get over. I think it was still on a ratio similar to what we were doing if you included that length in there. So they're still super grippy courses, and you still got to be a mega strong rider to get around them and win them. But yeah, that I'd say the strength and depth and the team tactics, it's more like the independent scene, privateer scene at this point. Smaller teams, smaller outfits, and but that community aspect's still there. Like I know a bunch of guys on Foran and that SRCT team, so yeah, they really make a good atmosphere out of it, even if there's no Conti level at this time.
Now, what do you think could be done to like maybe fix that and like brings a Conti team like that back? Because I remember before, I can't recall there was a team trying to be put together in time for this season, wasn't there?
Yeah, I think it was Harry Townfield. Sorry, just rocket going past. I don't know if you hear that. I can never think for the 10 seconds that it passes. Harry Townfield was I think putting something together. Didn't quite make it, but it's a difficult one because everything's just so expensive to get the Conti over into Europe, which is where most of the 1.1s are for these Conti teams, and then you're fighting invites, and when that cost is so tight, like I know Giles Pidcock's written about it a number of times with British Conti and how all the intricacies that go on behind the scenes and getting across the channel. So I think that's probably the biggest hindrance to a Conti level. But like I said, the community's still there, so it's still super high level of racing, even though it hasn't got that stamp of like 5 Conti teams riding. That's probably where my opinion is at this time.
Yeah, it's always the money aspect in cycling, isn't it, really? So the races though in the UK especially, I think if I had to pick one out particularly, that's my favorite. The Lincoln GP, that is. Have you ever done that before?
I did that last year, and got to say, it just had a pure vibe of Belgian racing. It looks that I'm only really drawn to those types of races in the UK that have good organization, good level of field, and just a good quality course that entices really good aggressive racing. And I think that was one of them last year. And yeah, it was just a hot day up a cobbled berg, and just felt like a pure mess in England. No traffic, no problems. And just super enjoyed that one very much.
That place is where I go to university, so yeah, it's.
Is it? Oh, that's right. And your doorstep.
And walking up that what is it, Steep Hill is called, and then Michael Gate next to it is.
Yeah.
And we had like a 9 a.m. lecture in like a court, and it was like you had to walk that up at like 9 a.m.
Oh,
yeah,
good,
no, thank you. I would not particularly like to ride up that anyway.
How many times did we do it? Like 8 times?
I think it's like 8 times, yeah.
Yeah, more maybe 10 actually. Not sure, I can't remember. Yeah, I was dying.
Will you be doing it again?
No, the entry closed yesterday. I think it's on the same day as Trobo Lyon, so we've got a number of races kind of colliding. Last year it was a bit different. I had there was no collision, so that's why I could get on with that. But this year we got a very packed program, and obviously the levels there to ride the pro races out here. So that's obviously where the focus is. If there was no collision, maybe, but
straight away.
Yeah, exactly.
Trobo Lyon, is that what you're going to be interested in? Because that is
what I'm doing one day
and a half. Yeah,
I'm doing one day at a time, mate. It's so far I've done a very heavy French program. So yeah, I've really enjoyed that. So mate, I look forward to continuing along those lines with Britannia next week. And yeah, I'm very much focused on the present on one race at a time.
Yeah, going over to Britannia again then. Do you have any specific goals as you go into it, or do you take it like as one day at a time as you come?
Just one day at a time as it comes. We've got a good, strong team there. Very aggressive team, kind of a mix between the guys that have done the classic and the French races here. So that would be nice to create a new atmosphere there with those guys and the unification there. And I think, once we do that, we can be on a very, very good level with those guys doing the classics and bringing that level across, and the recent results from our guys in France. So yeah, I think joining those two outfits together, two programs together, that yeah, it'll be really good.
Yeah, I mean, oof, it's just nice to get races and races and races under your belt, isn't it? Let's be honest.
It's about time.
Is that better for you as a rider, just like ticking along, keep doing races, or do you prefer to stay fresh, as in a sense?
No,
It's difficult, isn't it, really?
Well, I've come from a period of very just training a lot and having kind of stagnated staccato race period. So I've got a good 3 weeks of racing under the belt, and then another 4th week last week. That was again a bit unforeseen, and so yeah, just one race at a time. You just took it on, and we had a classy weekend. You know, sometimes those are the best times when it's least expected. So, but for me, yeah, I love racing. I'm a racer. It puts a smile on my face every time I talk about it, and just doing race after race with a matter of days in between. There's an aspect of freshness. Obviously, you'll have a period of rest. For our team, it's like, you know, July's blocked out for Tour de France for most of the pro teams, so there's not much going on there generally. So, you know, that's a forward period to look forward to in terms of rest and recuperation and refocus. But until then, that's where the focus is just one race at a time, ticking it along every 2 or 3 days, fix any mistakes you've done before, put the work in, and just keep turning up and yeah, doing the job. And that's what I love to do. So yeah,
just keep grinding out, really, is what I said there. But yeah,
it's good fun. So for me, it's not a grind when you're racing. When you're going from one to the next, that's what I do it for. So yeah, that's what I do the whole winter's training for, just to be able to do a good block of racing.
Yeah, they just like love the game, isn't it, really? Like
yeah,
in a
that's
sense.
it.
Yeah, what does a normal training block in the winter look like for you? Because I think that can provide some nice insight for the viewers.
Well, everyone's got something a bit different, don't they?
Yeah, everyone, yeah.
Yeah, for me, I took myself to Cyprus, which was a big difference. Quite early on I just committed to there, because I knew England wouldn't give me what I needed to reach the next level that I was kind of looking for, just because of the fact that you literally have to stop pedaling every 30 seconds to 40 minute and a half, literally.
Not nice.
I tried to replicate it here, and it was just so, because I'm in France now, and it's just so clear how much of a difference that makes. So I can be on the pedals for 4 hours non-stop here. And I tried to show that with some of my mates. Literally every minute I'd stop pedaling and have to coast for 30 seconds into a roundabout, judge the speed of the traffic, and then kick on. So you're doing a lot of little spikes and a lot of recuperation, and you're not keeping the tension on the legs to develop that muscle. So that's why primarily I took myself to Cyprus. 3 weeks, had a good mate there, Zeno, who came with me and really made that time a good positive training block. And I went then to Spain in December, Spain in January, and then over to here. So that's probably what it's been like, just ticking off the endurance and keeping it endurance 4 hours with very little coasting time, except for the downhills, obviously. But
is Cyprus
in one block there? Yeah.
Is Cyprus like is it hilly in a sense, like for example, like a Mallorca? I don't really know.
No. It's
Mallorca is like
more than Mallorca.
More than Mallorca.
Oh, yeah. If you go on the west side from the name's Paphos. If you go from Paphos, you can get to Mount Olympus at 2,000 meters, and it's just all day up, down, up, down, up, down. You tick off 4,000 meters before you know it.
That's crazy, really. I think, has there been any other riders that you know that go to Cyprus or?
Yeah, so last winter, Joe Blackmore went, Matty Cole went, Matty Dodd has gone before, good mate Cormac Nisbet's gone before, and obviously for Brits it's outside EU, so you can go for 90 days without affecting your European passport days. It is in the Schengen visa, it's not counted to that. So you've got a lot more freedom and a lot more time to go and train without without the stress of
the worry of that.
exactly. And I tell you, it's a big worry, because since I've come to France, that relief is just palpable on just how freeing it is to just train for 4 hours, turn up to a race, and not have to worry about getting over to England within the next 24 hours.
Yeah. And then as well,
that's been the biggest game changer, I'd say. Yeah.
As well, yeah, for when you're back home in England as well, you have the extra worry as well about car drivers as well, really, because let's be honest here, the culture in England around cycling and drivers especially, do you experience a lot of it really compared to where you are in
I mean,
France?
clearly it's different because I've got barely any drivers here in France.
Yeah.
But when I was in England, as I grew up, I stopped paying attention to it, so I never really had any problems with it. Because one of my mates, I think, said to me at one point, why are you letting it affect you? You can't control what they're doing. So long as they don't hit you off the road, just stay calm and just do a sarcastic thumbs up or something. Make a good joke of it, and you're a bike racer, you're in far stickier situations in the middle of a bunch sprint than you are with cars half the time. So long, and it actually sharpens you. It's like you're racing in a peloton. So long you pay attention to the road, there's no problems.
Exactly that, really. And if you smile at them, it pisses them off even more. That's
exactly. Just tap on the window and say, "Mate, you trying to get anywhere?" Like,
not going to go far, are they? Let's be honest.
No, exactly. I catch them up at the next set of roadwork because there's that many in England. So
yeah. Which part of the UK are you from? I think I looked on your profile. That's Runnymede, isn't it? What's that like for you growing up in that area? I think it's probably the best area, I think, as a cyclist to grow up, especially with what's around you.
Yeah, well, we've got Box Hill, and it's basically a carbon copy of the Flemish Ardennes.
Yeah.
Because you've got that, if you know the geography of the Flemish Ardennes, you've basically got a ridge, and you've got every single climb of Tour of Flanders going up and down that ridge.
Mm-hmm.
And it's practically the same thing. You've got a ridge from Guildford pretty much to Dorking, and it just goes up and down, up and down, up and down that. And you can do 160k ride in 3,000 meters as the absolute max if you tick off every climb, which we've done a few times. I know Canyon did it back in the day as like a Ronde van Surrey, which is a mega thing. But which should be a race at some point.
Yeah, it should be a race, I think.
That really should be a race.
Was the Olympic road race not? It was around.
Yeah, it was around. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it shows you what type of racing can be there, and I think it's a cracking race. If you start in Ripley, go and circle literally every hill, you'll tick off and just have an absolute classic on your hands.
Yeah, I mean, that is definitely a Tour of Britain stage around there would be lovely, really, I think. But
they've done one before as well, and Mark Cavendish won in Guildford. Yeah,
in Guildford, that's it. And then talking about the Flemish Ardennes, as well. That is, I think that's in my life. That's probably the most hilly area I've ever been. I was walking there in Flanders. You go up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Just walking 10 kilometers or 5 kilometers, let's say, and the elevation is crazy.
Yeah, just for these little ups and downs, and you don't really notice them, but then they stack up, and you're like, whoa, that was quite a heavy day on the pedals, But it's I don't know, it captured my heart quite young, and it's just a place of pure racing.
What age did you start getting into cycling? More in a sense, would you say?
I started properly racing when I went to Belgium first at 14, and then just kept going because I loved it. It's only just across the border. It was quicker to get there than up to the north of England where most of the races were. So why not?
Was it better for you as a rider as well, in your development?
Absolutely,
racing in that kind of place?
I think any rider would benefit from racing in that part of the world. But for my characteristics of being a muscular figure and a strong athlete, I think it really did help to compete alongside a number of the big classic guys at the same time. So the age group that I was with, if you got a number of riders there, so that was really good to toe the ropes with and kind of track with them as you progressed through the age groups.
Was there any riders in particular that you were racing with that you knew straight away that they'd like go right to the top in a sense?
No, you never know, but there's guys that just turn up week on week, and you're always finding at the front each time, and you push each other on all the time, you know. So yeah, there's a lot of skill in this sport and a lot of luck that goes along with it, with the people that you meet, and so you never know completely, but yeah, you make good friends along the way, and a number of them are still within the sport, either at a Conti, Pro Team, or World Team level. So that's really nice as well. Yeah.
Would you say is like your best overall friend that you've made in cycling then?
Well, I think
That's a hard one, isn't it, really?
just simply best friends, but I think the ones that I went through the most with was probably Jasper and Zeno on Mini Discar when we were all trying to get to that next step and help each other along the way and inspire and develop all together. And I think those two especially have helped me a lot along the way with those 90 days and offering a place of stay, and their parents and just the whole atmosphere that they've got as a family unit is really inspiring to go to a lot of weekends over that 3-year period with Mini Discar. So I think those two and their families have really made an impact on me as a person over those years. Yeah,
that's what you need as a rider, as well.
Yeah,
and as a person.
The list is extensive, so they know who they are, and I won't rattle it off here, but yeah, they know who they are. So
it's quite a pressuring question there, really, isn't it? You don't want to like forget anyone, so
no, they know who they are. So yeah,
as well. Going back to obviously growing up in the UK as well. We've asked this to many of our riders before, obviously, who we've interviewed, but who is the like one idol, would you say, in the sense that really inspired you to push on cycling?
Well, I was watching Peter Sagan highlight videos before most races. I have to say that. Yeah, there's on YouTube. There's Riffian boy, I think, made 3 videos for each of his 3 world champ years as highlights, and the music that he put alongside him, and the imagery and the dreams that kind of instilled was probably where I started off, really. Yeah. Just watching that. Yeah,
crazy. Imagine if you could recreate some of those things that he does there, man.
Well, yeah, anyone. Yeah, it was it's quite something. Yeah.
Yeah, but as well, you talk about Peter Sagan. Then is there anyone else? Would you say like as a British rider? Would you say, or would you say not really?
Mark Cavendish, like anyone.
Yeah, Cavendish, obviously, as well.
He was, he was winning buckets up until 2011 when most people got into it, and then the timing of the Olympics, you had Wiggins and Cav there, and I think literally to rip on the marketing, it did inspire a literal generation of riders across a number of sports. So I think those two are icons, and everyone kind of knows that story. I think if you ask a number of riders from Britain who are pro now, they'd all say those 2 riders. Most of them would say those 2 riders. Yeah.
But would you also say Froome as well, then, in a sense, or is that depends on if someone is like a GC rider?
I don't know. I didn't feel a connection to Froome because I wasn't that type of rider. So
yeah.
Wiggins came from a track background. Cav was on a track background, and he's sprinters. So that's sort of where you imagine yourself on the screen when you're a kid, don't you? But
Yeah, but now then, where do you see yourself as a rider in the coming year? Because we've asked this again to many riders. I think it's a domestic trademark question, I think.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself?
Well, just on another level to where I was last year, and just proud to be where I'm at now and keep working upwards and forwards, and just building the character of who I am, and I think the rest will come from that. Yeah,
it's all about hard work, isn't it? Really, just keep grinding along.
No, discipline. Enjoy the discipline
as well. Yeah,
it's I value a lot of discipline, especially the lessons that I got from swimming, from early mornings, late nights, turning over homework, and I think that really stuck with me. And I think discipline's a major factor of where you want to go, and just plant the seeds and whatever comes up, you keep learning, and yeah, that's where I'd like to see myself, just building the character, building the connections, and just keep working discipline and turning over all the stones that I believe I can do. So yeah, just keep working forward.
You mentioned swimming there as well. Do you want to talk a little bit about that? Because I think that kind of can correlate, I think, to cycling in terms of the discipline you need, really.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're waking up early, you're going to school, and you're doing all that at quite a young age. So yeah, you're still turning over homeworks for the next day, especially at my school, and yeah, you've got to stick to a good routine. You can't choose when you train. You got to turn up to the pool at 7 and 9, and do all of that. So yeah, it was a big factor of my youth alongside the rugby, and yeah, I think both of those really instilled a good relationship to discipline, and yeah, just keeping that as a forefront of where of the work that you're doing to where you want to go to. So yeah, I think yeah, that's probably the best way to describe that. Yeah,
rugby as well, Prof. I would not enjoy doing rugby personally, and I think many other cyclists probably would agree.
Yeah,
especially
well,
the climbers.
Oh, yeah, they'd yeah, I don't think they'd even cut wingers at that age, to be honest. Yeah, might be fast, but yeah, they'd get flattened, some of those guys.
I think more than flattened.
Yeah.
50, 60 kg people, Prof. It mess at that age, obviously, as well, Prof.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, I think that's all we have time for, guys, on this episode of the Domestique Cycling Podcast. It has been my pleasure to be joined by Thomas, and we wish him the best of luck next week in the Tour de Bretagne. Thanks all for watching, and goodbye.
I've got the spots, the sickness, there's between